Where's the goddamn button?
I mean, I understand that it's just like limited to like how I use the camera. I guess maybe how you use the camera. I just wish the record button was like on the front so I could see it instead of having to like feel around up there. You know.
So you want to hear a secret?
Yeah.
The GH6 and 7 have record buttons right on the front.
But I have a 5.
I know.
I'm not going to buy a new camera just for a relocated button. I'm sure.
Well, there's that focus button on the front, but like, I mean, where there's that one function button on the front.
Maybe there's probably even a remote control for this thing. Like my Canon DSLR, you can buy a remote for it.
Yeah.
But I know I can also use my phone, but I don't. That's getting.
No, I agree. It's just there's too many things connected to my phone.
Yeah.
All the time.
Oh, thank you for reminding me about that.
Sorry, my voice is probably like real low there.
What did you just do? Like you just blew out.
Is it blown
Whatever
out now?
you just did made it sound like, blown out.
Well, I had. Yeah. You might just have to turn me down in Discord because I had it way low before.
No,
and I don't
now
know
it's
why.
fine. Like it went.
Okay.
You did something and it was bad, and then you did something and now you're like, please stop touching it.
Okay. Well, it was really low because I was messing around with like the effects, voice effects stuff on the mixer yesterday, and
Hey, I was putting on my shoes last night to go out, and part of the aglet fell off of my shoelace. Yeah.
Yeah, that impresses me that you do you tie your shoes every time?
Do you not?
I leave them tied and I just like slip them on all the time. I ain't got time to tie them every time. Although I do, I have a pair of boots that I do tie every time.
Well, in this case it was boots, but I used to do that. Like I would have my shoes tied just enough. But like I was so lazy, like at that point, like I would just shove my foot in the shoe, and it would like wear out the backs of the shoes faster. Like it would screw up the back of the shoe. So like if you're gonna do that, I think, and you don't want to, prematurely wear out your shoes, you need like a shoehorn. Which I have a shoehorn, but I don't want to mess with that. I just tie my shoes every time.
Yeah, I get that. So what's kind of cool about those Hokas that I got is it almost had like the back of them.
Yeah.
Have like a little bit of a lip on it, so it's almost like a built-in shoehorn that you can grab. That
like maybe they just did that on purpose.
Yeah,
somebody over at Hoka is thinking.
Yeah. Well, I'd never seen a pair of shoes that does that before until I got those, and I'm like, oh, this is actually perfect because, I never untie them. Right?
Yeah. Real quick, I don't know, just for some reason, just saying that reminded me. I got a couple of clarifications from last time.
Okay.
And it's funny when I said this, I even kind of thought in my mind, I was like, oh, I think that's, not the case or whatever. But, some people, I won't say took umbrage with what I said, but I would just say corrected what I said. Respectfully, nobody was being like a jerk or anything. I think I may have characterized Hydrox cookies as Oreo ripoffs when in fact Hydrox was first. So Oreo is the ripoff cookie. Although then, I did a little bit more reading just out of curiosity, and apparently the company that now owns whoever makes Oreo, like I don't know if Oreo is made by Nabisco, but like maybe some other conglomerate. It doesn't matter, but apparently they're like actively, and I guess, I don't know, maybe everybody does this. I don't know. There's a fight for shelf space, right, at the grocery store, right? Everybody has all these products they want to bring out, but apparently this company is, engaged in shady business practices to basically eliminate Hydrox from the market.
Like Nabisco is?
Well, I think
Nabisco
it's like
Oreo?
Mondelez or something is like who, but that, like I said, that might be the parent company of Nabisco. I'm not really sure.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, R.J. Reynolds used to. I remember when R.J. Reynolds bought Nabisco, and everybody was all like put a burr under everybody's saddle, like because that's who makes like R.J. Reynolds is a cigarette company. But that was back in like the 90s or maybe even 80s. But Hydrox used to be made by Sunshine, and I don't know if Sunshine is even still around. Like Sunshine was just sort of like the other cookie and cracker brand at the store, but they were good. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they were like some kind of, shit to your product, but they weren't, whatever. But I don't know if they exist anymore, but they sold Hydrox to some other company, and now it's more of like maybe a niche product. But I think part of that is maybe because of the Oreo people. Like, that's why you go to the store and there's like 19 different kinds of Oreo. You know, it's like they're trying to monopolize shelf space. But like everybody does that. You know, Lay's, potato chips, and
Nabisco just happens to have like so much more money than everybody else, I guess.
Right. So I wanted to say that, and then sorry, you got.
Oh no, I was just.
Well,
I'm sick of that kind of behavior. Like, it just sucks that that's the way it is. You know.
Mm-hmm. And the only other thing I was going to say, because that whole conversation started because I was going off on something about why aren't there Oreo fresh stacks, and a couple of people, I guess in the YouTube comments, if I remember correctly, said that I think if you go to Costco, you can buy a big box of Oreos and they come in like. I have not personally seen Oreos fresh stacks, but I'm saying I'm getting information from randos on the internet that apparently that's a thing. So if so, that's good. Although after our last podcast, we were talking about saltines. Yeah. I happened to be at the store, and I of course went to the cracker aisle, and you can get saltine crackers in fresh stacks format as well.
And the fresh stack format is like an entire sleeve, right?
No, it's like a half sleeve. Well, yeah, no, for you, I guess they've always had fresh stacks.
For me,
right? Yeah.
After that, I went and got a family pack of saltine of premiums. Yeah, which is also Nabisco, I guess.
When you say family pack, like how many stacks is?
Well, it comes with 6 sleeves instead of 4.
Do you recall how much you paid for that?
No.
Okay, I'm only asking. I don't know. Like, I get it. I live in California. Blah blah blah. But I was shocked at how much saltine crackers cost now. Like, a regular box of 4 stacks is like $5, and it doesn't even matter which brand you get. And it's like I get that if it's like some kind of fancy cracker, but it's saltines, bro. Like,
well, they're just raising the price
flour,
because
water, and salt.
pretty much. But they're only doing it because, they know they can get away with it.
Well, yeah, but sometimes I feel like you go to like other parts of the country and things are a lot cheaper. I'm in California, everything's more expensive. It's like if you go to New York or something, same thing. So that's why I was just curious. Like, maybe you're going to tell me that a family pack of saltines is like $2.89 or something.
Well, next time I'm at the store, I will let you know.
All right, you can't. It's not. Sure.
I'm not positive.
I'm going to sleep okay tonight, not having that information. I'm just telling you. Like, don't hurt yourself.
But when you're talking about like the Hydrox cookies and stuff, it got me thinking. I don't know if I was just like fed this by the algorithm, like listening to our podcasts or our discussions. Like when we don't know. Yeah. But I saw this video that like the ingredients of there it is. There's the hand. It's the full hand. It's not a pointer.
I told you.
For some reason, I thought it was a pointer.
It was on the floor.
Okay.
So I found it. Anyway, go ahead.
But I don't know if I was just like fed this or whatever, but like the ingredients of Oreos have like gotten worse over time. And I saw this video where someone took this blowtorch and like took it to an Oreo, and first, like, it has a whole row of them. It's like, okay, we're going to put this on it for 2 seconds. Doesn't burn it. And it simultaneously, like, it just goes up and up and up until it gets to like 1 minute, and like putting a blowtorch like 2 inches away from it and just like blasting it with it. Yeah. It's like not melting or catching on fire or anything.
I mean, that's good, isn't it? I mean,
that's good,
flammable stuff in your house? I mean, it.
But do you want that in your body?
That sounds
also?
like a great idea for an Oreos commercial.
But you're gonna put that in your body, like how? It's weird to think about it in your body.
I don't know. I'd have to think more about what foods I eat that might be resistant to being blowtorched. Like maybe we're making a bigger deal about this than it needs to be. I'm not sure.
The point. I don't think the point was this doesn't catch on fire and it's good to have in your house. It's like it doesn't catch on fire and it's like not natural in any way.
Well, I mean, it's like if you get a McDonald's hamburger, they never get moldy. They just dehydrate on their own, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
But they're still delicious, kind of.
Yes. But I feel like I heard something about how Oreos had like charcoal in them or something, like a little bit of charcoal or something.
I mean, people eat charcoal. Like charcoal is like I forgot. People eat charcoal sometimes. Like, not eat it, but I mean,
They eat the rocks like a.
I had some floss that had charcoal in it, which I think is a whole load of crap.
Okay, yeah, like toothbrush, like it's on toothbrushes
right
now.
Right, like a charcoal, often. It's just carbon. Like it's not going to hurt you if it's, like I think if you ate a charcoal briquette, that may have other impurities in it that you do not want to eat. But in theory, yeah. And then the other thing, that was the 2 corrections, and then I just wanted to say, this is sad news, but I'm not making a joke. And I don't know if you even whatever, but I just saw the news. Like it got announced like an hour ago that Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker, passed away. And I thought that made me sad. Like, I love that guy.
That is. It's interesting because I feel like I recently thought about him.
Yeah. And
I thought he was already dead. I mean, I'm sure that happens
Not only
a lot.
was he not dead, he was still calling Brewers games. Like, he was still working.
So for me, I always think of him like in movies, like Major League or something like that.
He was amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, that's how I think of him. Like as someone who doesn't really pay attention to baseball, like that's how I think of him, is like how he had that run where he was like in a lot of different movies or something like that for a while.
Well, to be fair though, I mean, he kind of made the choice. Like he wanted to just stay working for the Brewers. So I mean, if you're not a Brewers fan, like the rest of us didn't get as much of an opportunity, or hardly one at all, to just sort of see him doing his main, chosen career, right? Like we know him from Mr. Belvedere and from, as you said, from movies. So
was he a commentator like before he was in something like Mr. Belvedere, or did he just have like a knack for it?
I believe so. If I remember correctly, I believe so. Like he was a baseball player, and then I think he went into broadcasting, and I think that got him jobs in movies, but he also kept broadcasting. And somebody can correct me as you will if I'm incorrect on that. But
that's pretty cool. Like I just thought that, just the idea that like, if he was an actor before he was getting into broadcasting, and he's like, got into that afterwards and said, I like this a lot more than acting. So I'm just going to stick with that. Combine the two for a little bit, and then pick the thing that you you like the most, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. But he was in like his 90s. I mean, he was old, so it's not like something, it's just like it happens to all of us, But I don't know. I just saw that, and it's like I guess it's not a super fair comparison, but it kind of reminds me of like when John Madden passed away, because John Madden was like, he was like the heart and soul of football, but he existed on the national stage, and I feel like Bob Uecker could have been that, but by his own choice, he wanted to just stay, as the Milwaukee Brewers broadcaster rather than moving, into something bigger, which is cool, right. I think.
Yeah, yeah. Did you ever watch that John Madden football documentary that has a whole bunch of like errors, I guess, in it? No,
because you guys were talking about all the errors, and I'm like, I don't. That's just.
I didn't watch it.
That's going to infuriate me. So
yeah, it's going to be annoying. Yeah. But I mean, it is kind of cool that it was made, but I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff in it that is just stretching the truth, I guess.
And why would I want to watch that, I guess?
Well,
that's what I would say.
Better things to do with your time. I'm all excited because tomorrow the second season of like one of the few shows that I get excited about watching, or really got into when it was when I watched it last year, which was a year after it came out, was this show on Apple TV called Severance. Did we talk about this before?
Let's pretend that we have not, because that doesn't sound familiar.
So it's about it's hard to explain, but it's about these people that go into a job and they have a thing injected into their brain so that when they go to work, another personality takes over, so they don't experience what they're doing at work.
So like at some point they come out of that and it just feels like they were sleeping and they don't remember.
Yeah, they show up to work, they get in this elevator, go down, and then next thing they know, they're going out. But the problem is that it makes this other personality of people, this other version of themselves, that are like stuck at work. That as soon as
that their whole existence then is at work.
Yeah, and there's all kinds of like weird stuff going on. Oh. And the main reason that people can't understand what is like that they have to go into the state when they go into the work is that nobody knows what's happening in this building.
Oh, Right.
So it's like created by Ben Stiller.
But it's not funny.
And, it's not funny. Oh, it has some like funnier aspects to it. But if you have Apple TV, I highly recommend watching it.
Only because I keep forgetting to cancel it, I do have Apple TV.
Well, you should definitely watch it. I think that it's something that you would like. And it starts out kind of slow, but it
don't tell me that. I hate it when
about
people say
about
that.
3 hours or 3 hours.
Like if you watch the first 2 seasons, you'll get into it after that.
No. That's the thing. It's like there's only one season, and the second season starts tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's like it'd be a good time to do it. And you could even check you should check it out, and then
all right, I'll see.
We could even like talk about it.
Maybe my wife might like that too.
Yeah, yeah. It's got Adam Scott in it. Who I mean, I don't know if he's like an actor that you know. I can't think of anything else he was in.
Yeah,
off the top of my head.
On that note, can I just say quickly? I know we had homework. I didn't get around to watching Real Genius yet. I apologize.
Okay. It's okay. You know, I was afraid of I was afraid of you having watched it.
So you haven't either?
Well, hang on.
Oh, okay.
That I bought and watched True Grit last night at 9 o'clock.
I wish you had just told me, because then I would have
Well,
I honestly I forgot until this morning. I was making notes for the show, and I was like, oh man, I forgot to watch Real Genius. It's not like I don't want to, you understand. It's just I just forgot.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like on streaming, but we can probably work something else out. I can probably help you with that.
It must be somewhere. I mean,
well, I mean,
not,
True Grit wasn't.
I know where to get it. Through less than normal.
but True Grit was not streaming anywhere.
Do you want to still talk about True Grit, or do you want to
because I thought it was great,
or we can wait?
No, I can talk about it. I had it on my list of things to talk about.
Well, then the floor is yours, my friend.
Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't know what to expect.
Question. Sorry, let me interrupt.
Yeah.
You watched the Coen Brothers one, not the John Wayne one.
Correct.
Okay.
Is that okay? I mean,
yeah. I'm just clarifying. Well, it's okay if you watched either one. I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, I just watched the Coen Brothers because it was on sale as $5 to own digitally.
Oh.
Although I did immediately afterwards, I bought, and I have it coming in 4K. Or on 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Is Good, Bad, and the Ugly, which I was not. All three of those movies in that trilogy are available in 4K, and they're like all restored.
Yeah.
Excellently, I guess.
Okay.
And I kind of had to do some research. I was like, well, can I watch what is technically the third one without any knowledge of the other ones?
Yeah, they're not. It's not like a continuous storyline.
Right. It's just the same character.
Is it even the same character, or is it just like all three of them is like this no-name guy?
Maybe. I mean, very possibly.
That was my understanding. Is it's not like literally the same person, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I some of the things that I saw, I'm like, oh, do I got to watch all of these? And someone says, I mean, technically, Good and the Bad and the Ugly takes place before Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah.
But it's also, I think a lot of people think it's the best one because it clearly has the biggest budget.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to watch it. In the stuff I was reading about it, the people were saying that it is the best directed movie of all time.
Wow. That's
which it seems pretty intense thing to say about it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, but you've already watched.
Yeah, I watched True Grit.
I mean, do you have any?
I mean, it's a Coen Brothers movie in the best possible way.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I like about them is that they can make something that just the dialogue and names are funny, but they never like draw attention to it. It's just like that's the way it is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, having not I don't know if these names came from the John Wayne movie or what.
They did. They carried the names over.
Okay, so Rooster Cogburn is a name from that.
Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Okay, because I just think that that's like a great name.
Yeah.
And I spent the entire morning calling my son LeBeef.
Yeah. But that's Bouef. You know, it's like French.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you say beef.
LeBoef. Yeah, but.
But what did you think? Speaking of LeBeef, though, like what did you think of Matt Damon as because I thought he was great, but like
I thought he was really good.
People thought it was a bad casting job, but I just
it's
very much disagree.
It's one of the few times that I felt like he kind of disappears. Like you don't know that it's him. Like you don't really think of it being him, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe it's his gigantic mustache or what, it obscures his face more. But I never once thought about like, oh, that's Matt Damon.
Yeah.
In this movie.
I just love that first scene that he's in, like when, she wakes up in the bed and he's already sitting there, and he's wearing that ridiculous outfit, and he's just like, I just come from Yale County. And just without missing a beat, she's like, we don't have any rodeo clowns in Yale County. It's funny. I couldn't figure out what line from the movie I wanted to use as the title for last week's episode, because I did that. The line came from that scene, when he was at the sort of the end where he was like, when you were asleep and I was like sitting here, I was thinking about, stealing a kiss. But as you are very young and sickly and ugly to boot,
Yeah.
And, he says he was going to like take her over his knee. And then she says, well, one would be as unpleasant as the other, and that's the title.
Yeah.
I went with.
He's thinking about stealing a kiss. He's like, what he says, you have very little sugar.
Oh yeah. You give very little sugar with your pronouncements.
Yeah. I kind of felt like, so I didn't really know who it was at first, but it's Haley Steinfeld is the younger girl who is like,
yeah.
I only know it because she's
breakout role or whatever, or might have been her first role.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. I kind of felt like she owns the movie.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
Just like the whole negotiation scene
with the ponies.
Yeah. And I almost felt like I wanted to like just rewatch that scene because I had like no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
It's so fast and furious that you have no idea what they're even talking about. It's just, and you get the impression that the guy almost has no idea either.
Yeah.
And he's like, like now I'm paying for a horse that's not even mine.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. It was very good. I mean, Jeff Bridges, like I really liked the way that it ends, like he's like kind of redeemed at the end there.
Yeah.
Although I almost felt like he seemed like a good guy and then like they just had to have him get drunk the one time to make him seem bad.
I mean, I don't know.
Like
I feel like
he was fine until that point.
Really? I feel like he's pretty unlikable for most of the movie.
Oh.
Not like I hate him, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. Not like I hate the character, but it's just like, it's pretty rough around the edges, like, the dude is a, lovable loser, right? But yes. I feel like, him playing, in True Grit, like, it's not really lovable,
No, he's just
more loser, but.
Yes. But I just feel like he has a pretty good control on the whole situation until like he gets drunk. And then it's like, then he's like burns these bridges with everybody. And I guess that's in a way kind of realistic.
Yeah.
Everyone's fine until like they get drunk, or too drunk.
Yeah.
But it's funny. Like I went into it with the intent of like not using subtitles. I feel like I use subtitles too much in movies, and maybe that's just so that I can like half pay attention. So this time I said I'm not gonna watch it with any subtitles. And he's definitely difficult to understand a lot of times, but that's kind of that's like the point.
Because he mumbles because he's like a drunk, just for anybody out there,
Yeah.
It's not like he's not like speaking with an accent. He's just like a, middle-aged drunkard,
Yeah. And in a lot of ways, I mean, it being Jeff Bridges, like he's like almost unrecognizable also.
Yeah.
In that, because he's just kind of like doing this like lean back all the time. And, his head is melting into his neck type thing. But yes, it was very good. Great soundtrack too.
Yeah. Well, that's, I would say, another hallmark of Coen Brothers movies, really.
Yes. Yeah. And so it was shot by Roger Deakins, who is like a good cinematographer. He liked it. So he did recently he did the Blade Runner 2049, and I guess he did Skyfall, like the James Bond movie Skyfall.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably lots of other more bigger ones. I think he did the two Dune movies, the two recent Dune movies. And I thought I wonder if this is him when I was watching it.
Really? You could recognize his style?
Well, it's just
if that's
really
true,
great
that's
shots.
Impressive. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because he's the only.
You're quite the cinephile.
No, he's the only name that I know in that scene. I'm pretty sure he does a lot of stuff for Christopher Nolan, stuff like that. He's just highly sought after, and he is very good at shooting large expanses, I guess.
Yeah.
Of land. Yeah, I thought it was excellent. I'd give it out of 4 out of 4 stars.
Nice.
And highly recommend it to anyone who has not seen it before. And also, if you're thinking about just watching a Western movie, that's a good one to watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of a good intro Western, I would say.
Yeah.
It's a good way to watch something that's fairly modern, but has a lot of the appeal, I think, of older Westerns.
Yeah. The other line from the movie, by the way, that was in contention for being the episode title last week. But I feel like that line is all in the delivery. But that is to say, your eye.
Yeah.
I thought you was going to say the sun was in your eyes. That is to say, your eye. Because Rooster Cogburn has an eye patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. I'm sorry that you kept up your end of the bargain and I forgot. So,
well, that's all right.
That's fine.
That's
I'll
all right.
get it
that's
time.
the thing I'm trying to do more this year is keep my end of the bargain.
Oh, thank you. Well, thanks. That makes me feel great. So I appreciate that. Boy, I got a lot. The more I sit here, the more I keep writing stuff down.
Oh, cool. That's good. That's good because mine is fairly short. So that's good.
This is really stupid. I don't know if you're going to be able to read this, but if you can read this, can you read that?
Yeah.
Can you say that word for me?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I was driving home from work yesterday and I was thinking about that word, mayonnaise, right?
Mayonnaise.
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? Is it's just like mayonnaise, you can, then it's just MANAISE, mayonnaise, right? But it's mayonnaise, right? But then, you're sounding like Louis Gossett Jr., mayonnaise. There's not a way to say the word correctly without sounding like a goober,
Right. And I always thought it was just maybe the area of the U.S. that I'm from. Maybe it's just
that's why I asked, is I was wondering if maybe it's a regional, but everybody here says mayonnaise too. By the way, if anybody gets that reference, you can leave a comment down below. Mayonnaise.
It's also the best Smashing Pumpkins song.
I got no place to go. Yes. It's funny. I used to there was this bar that I used to hang out at where I was I kind of became friends with the bartender because he would give me a lot of free beer. And that was his favorite Smashing Pumpkins song. And it happened to be available in the jukebox. So just that song. I'm
too?
Sure there were other Smashing Pumpkins songs.
Well, I'm just saying there wasn't the whole album in there because a lot of times
jukebox, man. You ever used a jukebox? It doesn't matter. So I used to play that song a lot, in there.
The jukeboxes that I would use usually had entire albums in there.
All right. Well, I don't know what kind of fancy jukeboxes you grew up with.
Well, it's not very, very fancy. But I always felt when I lived in New York, I used to enjoy going and seeing what is on a place's jukebox. So you could tell a lot about a bar or whatever based on what is in the jukebox.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny. I have right now, just coincidentally in my car, I have the Smashing Pumpkins Greatest Hits CD, in the
Rotten, isn't it Rotten Apples?
Rotten Apples,
that?
Yeah. There's a lot of songs on there that I would classify as Rotten Apples. It's not really a Greatest Hits. I don't know. I don't have the list in front of me. I don't know. It's just like, the first like 3 songs are off of Gish, then it's got like, the 3 songs off of Siamese Dream, and then 3 or 4 songs off of Melancholy, and then after that, I mean, there's that one song that people. What was the album after Melancholy? I forgot what it was called. But
Adore.
Okay, yeah. So the title track off of that album, like I think that song's pretty. It's not great, but it's like it's okay. I'm not changing the channel if that one comes on. But like that's like the only song, in my opinion, on like the whole second half of that greatest hits CD that I even want to listen to.
Really? See, because that's probably my least favorite on there.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm saying like that's like the last one. It's like I get about halfway and I just either start the CD over again or I just put in something else.
I see. Well, I don't know. I really like Machina, like their last album, which is the one after Adore.
I don't know if I ever asked you this before. Do you have like this is, in my opinion, like my favorite or the best Smashing Pumpkins song? Like, do you have one song where like that's
Mayonnaise is the best Smashing Pumpkins song.
All right. I was a little bit insulted. Not insulted. Insulted's the wrong word, but I guess surprised. Like my favorite Smashing Pumpkins song, like by far, is Cherub Rock.
Oh, I mean
I just love that song. But
that's a top 3 for me for sure.
Okay, good. But like if I go like on my streaming app, and you go to like top tracks and hit view all, like Cherub Rock is like basically the last one of like all of their like radio hits. I would say like maybe like 9 or so songs that they had that were big. It's in like last place, and I was just surprised. I'm not insulted. I don't care, but I'm saying I was surprised. I guess I would have thought it would have been a lot higher.
Yeah, I would think so too. But I think that was the first single off of that album, and it probably got overshadowed by Today, which is like it's one of those songs that I can't even stand anymore. Like it's so boring to me.
That's funny because I used to be that way about it then, and I've warmed up to it.
Really?
I mean, I'm not saying I love it, but I heard an interview that he did. I think it was with Howard Stern, and he explained what the song was about, and it just made me look at it in a different way. And so I guess now I appreciate it more, but I would still not like excited that it's on.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
I mean, chances are, if I hear that on the radio, like there's probably a good chance that we'll change the channel.
Okay,
just because I'm so bored.
Yeah. So I didn't want to say without. I just checked real quick. Because I didn't want to, misspeak again. Yeah, Mayonnaise is not on Rotten Apples.
On that list?
No, it's not. It's not on Rotten Apples.
I see.
I feel like that's a pretty among like Smashing Pumpkins fans. That's a pretty popular song to leave off.
Well, can I try to guess what's on it?
Sure.
I mean, I have it, but I haven't listened to it in 20 years probably.
Okay.
It's going to be Siva.
Yep.
Rhinoceros.
That's track 1, by the way, is Siva. Yeah. Track 2 is Rhinoceros. You're correct.
I don't know what it would be for like the third Gish song.
Oh, well, I'll tell you right now, it's not a Gish song.
Okay.
But it's not a Siamese Dream song either.
Oh, it's going to be, it's not like something off of Pisces Scary. It's not like Starla or something, is it?
No. These songs are in like chronological order of release.
Okay. I don't know what the third one's going to be.
That's fine. I don't blame you. It's Drown off of the single soundtrack.
Okay. Yeah. I should have known that.
I get it, but it's like throws you a curveball,
Yeah. And then it's going to be Today, Cherub Rock, and Disarm probably.
Not in that order, but it's Cherub Rock, then Today, then Disarm, yeah.
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 And then off of Melancholy, it's going to be Bullet Butterfly Wings, which is another one that I will skip every single time.
Yeah, it's weird, though, because I don't know if I have a different version, because on here, track 7 is the Landslide cover.
Okay.
But that's not what's on the CD I have, so I don't... It goes straight from Disarm to Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
Okay, so is that the only song off Pisces Iscaria? Is it so Landslide? So there's no Starla, or Starla's not on Pisces Iscaria, I don't think.
I don't know what's on.
No, I think it is.
It's not on this. It's not on this release. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then So off of Melancholy, it's probably going to, I feel like there might be 4 songs off of there. It'd be Bullet with Butterfly Wings, 33.
Nope.
33 is not on there.
No. That's a good
1979.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bullet, 1979. Hopefully this is compelling listening for everybody at home. But I'm having fun, so I don't really care.
I mean, it's not going to be Muzzle, is it? Muzzle's
no, man, there's 2 more like big hits off of Melancholy.
Why am I like? I guess that just shows how much I've listened.
All
to
right,
it.
number 10 is Zero.
Oh, duh, yeah.
Which everybody hates the way I say Zero. I don't know.
And Tonight.
How are you supposed to say Zero? I don't get it. That's like of all the things people have complained about me, that's the one I don't get. How else do you say Zero? It's Zero. 3, 2, 1, 0.
0.
All right. And then, Tonight, as you said. And then, if you want to keep going, the next song is another soundtrack track, rather than...
It's going to be The End is the Beginning is the End.
No.
Or The Beginning. It's from Batman and Robin? No?
No.
Oh, it's going to be from...
Lost Highway.
From Lost Highway, yes.
Yeah.
But I bet you Beginning is the End is the Beginning is later on.
Nope.
Really?
Negative.
Okay, so then from Adore, it's going to be Ava Adore.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. That's it.
And that's it.
From that album, that's it.
And then from Machina, it's going to be Stand Inside Your Love.
Yep. Although not
the
in that order,
Everlasting Gaze.
Yep.
And then is Untitled number 1 or something like that on there? Is that like the last song?
It's just Untitled. That's the last one. And then
that was just like an unreleased song.
Yeah,
I think.
And then the only one you missed there was
song.
after the Machina songs from Machina 2 is Real Love.
Okay. Well, Machina 2 was like at a point, like I think that he just put that out for download.
I wonder if I have the international version lines up more with
what you have.
Yeah, interesting. I don't remember where I got the CD, so maybe it is the international.
This is kind of a fun idea to take somebody's greatest hits and see if we can guess like all the songs that are on it.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll put that one in our back pocket for later.
Yes. But going from that, actually, I feel like a lot of what I had to talk about today was music related, which I know.
That's cool.
People love that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you wanted to. Although I have another movie topic too, but we can come back to that. I don't know if you wanted to talk at all about the new Pat Finnerty video.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I finished it a couple of days ago. So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have like, a lot of thoughts about it, and I don't want to be the guy that is going to critique another YouTuber's content just because like I don't want people to do that to me. I enjoyed it. That's first off top of it, right off the top. I'm not trying to. It's not even really a criticism, but it's just like, I think I found the show more interesting, or I find the show more interesting when, and I said this to you, like, offline or whatever, but I just feel like the songs he's been picking lately are just like low hanging fruit. And it's kind of maybe even becoming a little bit less about the music and more just about the people.
His in-jokes?
Well, that too, but I'm just saying like, picking like All Summer Long or Try That in a Small Town or This Lonely Road is just like,
it feels like more reactionary.
Nobody that's at all serious about music, as an appreciator of music, as Tim Rogers might say, thinks that those are good songs or I'm not saying necessarily that any of the songs he's picked on are like good, but, I think the songs he did early on were maybe things that, because we're like the same age about probably as Pat Finnerty is.
Yeah.
And like there's songs that maybe were out when we were in college and we just have like positive memories of them and have never thought about them critically. And when he points out that like, hey, actually this is, from the standpoint of, music theory or as a musician, this is actually a crappy song. And so it sort of maybe challenges you a little bit, and you might say, well, you know what? I still appreciate that song, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And so
have that explained.
I just think it'd be more interesting, like pick a song that people generally like. And make us look at it, like pick a Jimmy Eat World song or something, like draw a little bit of blood,
Yeah. And he did that very much so with like the,
it's just like, Kid Rock sucks. Newsflash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's what made him so appealing, like from the beginning, because they did that with the Chili Peppers, which I thought was like the first video of his that I saw. I think that you showed me that one.
Yeah,
and that makes sense. You know, it's not like I'm some huge Red Hot Chili Peppers fan.
Yeah,
but
I never would have expected somebody to make a video about how one of their songs actually like sucks if you look at it.
Yeah,
critically.
And it just like steals from this other stuff, you know,
right?
Like from better songs.
Yes.
And what's funny is that like that song now, like it's forever associated with that video.
Yeah.
For me, like if I hear it someplace, I'm like, oh, it's just ripping off Mary Jane's Last Dance.
Yeah.
And you know, like I can't not think like, you know, think about the big cat. You know, just like it's just things like that.
Yeah.
That, you know, I agree. I'm right there with you. I feel as though that stuff needs to be like. I hope that he gets back to like doing some stuff that is not so reactionary. Like I'm going to go through and listen. I'm going to listen to the song in real time and break it down, which is like.
Well, I mean, I guess that's easier to make. I get that. I mean, but I'm just saying more like, you know. I get disappointed when you see, he uploaded a new video. Oh, it's an MGK song. And now, it's another MGK song. It's like, yeah, that's not somebody who's rich and famous because they're a really talented musician. Sorry. You know, like, but like you said, like the Chili Peppers, like I would never have counted myself as a huge Chili Peppers fan, but I would never have said that anything that they made like stunk, you know?
Right.
So to me, that was more like, oh, wow. Okay. Like I never... When he says, hey, listen to this guitar solo and realize, he stole it from, you know, whatever, or, you know.
Right. And in many ways, like, I think that makes it like you said, it challenges you to say, hey, this band that is, I mean, people like them and some don't like them, but in a lot of ways, I think for people our age, even if you don't like them, you're kind of like they're fine. Like they've you know, like they have certainly earned their respect and their legacy, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
But that doesn't mean that they're infallible. You know?
I mean, I guess ultimately what I'm trying to say is just like, if you're going to be negative, you know, because I'm getting real worn out on all the negativity, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not from him. I mean, just in general, you know, like negativity sells, like on YouTube as an example. But do it in a way that's like smart and interesting. And I feel like he went from doing that to just like dunking on stuff. And I don't think that's not interesting anymore. Like I feel the same way. Yeah. I feel the same way. I think that it's more interesting when he actually like breaks down like what it is that they're doing. Yeah. You know, and has some fun with it. Yeah. And it's low hanging fruit, and it just feels reactionary. Yeah. Like, this is the new song that's, you know, going around. I felt like the best part of that entire video is when he talks about the fucking songs, like the songs that like everybody plays. Can I just say I got a smile on my face when Wagon Wheel came up as one of the songs?
Because it's such a great song too. And like that's a situation where I feel as though I could never, I'm not going to sit there and talk bad about those songs. I mean, there's a reason why they are as beloved and as popular as they are. Yeah. You know, like even something like, you know, like Mr. Brightside, I think is a great song. I think that whole album is really good. The Killers' first album.
I was just listening to the Killers yesterday.
Yeah. And one of the reasons, and I only thought about it recently because the 60 songs that explain the 90s, the 2000s, as the new series is called. Yeah. Because I don't know if you've like listened to any of those or not. No. But he's because he finished his Rob Harvilla, who's like the creator of this podcast, like writes great essays on these songs, like different songs that like are pivotal for their the time that they were written and when they came out. And he did like 60 songs that explain the 90s, and then he expanded it to 90 songs, and he expanded it to 120 songs. But the brand name is 60 songs that explain the 90s. even though it's not. Like, that's a name that everybody knows.
Right.
So he took a break and he came back and he's like, I'm going to do the 2000s, which I was not excited about at all. And then I was like, okay, it was fine at first. Like, the first one he did was Mr. Brightside.
Okay.
And it took him a little while in those episodes to find his groove, I think, with it. Some of them are interesting and things that I'd like what I like about it is that he talks about these songs, and some songs that you would say are not great. You might not like them.
Yeah.
But he treats everything with the same amount of respect.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, they, just because you don't like the song or there's problems with it doesn't mean that there's not any merit, or they were like important. Like he did a really good one on the Macarena, like during the 90s, which is like, nobody's going to sit there and be like, oh, this is an amazing song.
But that song was like everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And he kind of goes into like the whole thing about how, like they did all this stuff before that.
Yeah.
And, same thing with like that song Tub Thumping. Like they had like several albums
like
before
Chumbawamba is like a one-hit wonder here, but like they have they have like an interesting story, Chumbawamba.
But that's what I like so much about it. But Mr. Brightside was one, and it took him a little while to find his groove for these 2000s, because the stuff he wrote about like in the 90s that he talked about from the 90s were stuff that he grew up listening to, and he listened to him. He's the same age as we are.
Yeah.
So he like listened to the stuff, and they always say the stuff that you listen to at that age, you always say it's like the best, or it'll be like it'll be more important to you, I guess. I feel like I've lost the plot now. But he did one on Mr. Brightside, and it was okay.
Like how many episodes has he done now of the 2000s, roughly, if you know?
So he's done, I want to say 8.
Okay. I'm just curious, like, what other 2000 songs are going to end up there, like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's...
Like Lazy Eye or,
Oh, yeah. Stuff
Kids.
like that. I'm hoping the stuff like that would show up. But strangely enough, like, I think that he found his groove with this 2000s by doing an episode on Avril Lavigne.
Oh.
Which is, like... A lot of times it's not even about the song so much as it's just like the framing device for like the time that it came out.
Yeah.
Where like Avril Lavigne and like several other people at that time when that album came out were pitched as like the anti-Britney Spears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the counterpoint for somebody who doesn't like want something like that. And it's just like a really, really good episode where it gets into like all these other like pop stars that got put into that bracket because this is counter programming to Britney Spears, like Pink and like Vanessa Carlton and Michelle Branch, just like all these other interesting people. And it's a really, really good episode. So if you're looking for an episode to listen to get into either to get into the series of podcasts currently, like that's a good one to listen to.
Yeah.
Came out like just before Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah. But the whole like going all the way back, I guess, to like the effing songs, right? I feel that was the part that I liked the most about the
Do you want to explain to the folks at home what the effing songs list is?
Yeah, they're just songs that everyone knows, and like every cover band will play it.
Yeah.
Or you'll hear it at like to the point where if you go to like a fried food festival or a street fair or something like that, and there's a musician playing, like they're going to be playing stuff like Sublime's Santeria or I don't know, I never thought that Wagon Wheel was in that bracket, but I guess it is. Like I wonder if Darius Rucker's cover of it like put it into that bracket.
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't have put it there either, but I don't know. I mostly got a kick out of it when he said it because I know how much you like that song. So,
yeah, I think it's a great song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm out of stuff to say about Pat Finnerty's show. And again,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be critical or anything. I'm just, I guess, saying, I'm going to lose interest if we're going to keep talking about, Machine Gun Kelly, because I just don't care. Like,
well,
not we, I mean him. Like,
the thing that was so good about the first one he did on him was it wasn't so much about the song, it was about the journey that he went on.
Yes.
Because of it.
Yes.
Like that, and it took him like a year to make it because of the journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not about the song being bad. It's about the fact that, like you created a song or an entire album of songs that are better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Kind of on that note, I guess, cause it was just something else I had thought of. I grew up, certain times growing up, we had cable, and, whenever we had cable, MTV was like one of the stations that I would watch like a lot. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we first got cable in like 86. I just remember the summer of 86. So I was like 9, but I was home from school all summer. And if I'd have Nickelodeon on in the morning, cause I want to watch my rerun of Lassie and my rerun of Dennis the Menace. And then after that, pretty much I'd switch it over to MTV for like the rest of the morning and afternoon, and mm-hmm. I think it's pretty much, well, not anymore because they don't play music videos anymore, but I think for the entirety of MTV's life as an actual music station, when they were showing videos, it was like, for the most part, it was like probably the same 20 videos over and over again with maybe like a little rando sprinkled in there.
Yeah.
Right.
At least during the day, for sure.
What's that?
At least during the afternoon and day.
Oh, yes.
Daytime.
Yes. I mean, and that's no different than like radio at the time, and maybe now too. I mean, I'm not trying to criticize MTV there, but and so like for me, there was like, there was the categories of videos. Like there were the videos that got played a lot, but I was glad because every time the video would come on, I would sit down and watch it because I loved it, Mm-hmm. And then there was the videos, or the associated songs that I was just like sick of. And, oh God, this one's on again. And then sort of tangential to that, there's, the videos in that latter category where at the time I couldn't stand the song or couldn't stand the video, but now I like it because there's been enough separation for me being oversaturated with it. So just examples for me, like Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel. That was always like whatever I was doing in the house. If I heard that one come on, I'd run into the living room and sit there and watch it because I love the song, and especially for a 9-year-old, all the claymation was awesome. But that's also a really good song. So like I always like stopped what I was doing and watched like Sledgehammer.
What's funny about that is that I was just talking about that with like some other like parent friends recently.
Yeah,
about how I think Peter Gabriel said himself that like that video made that song. Like people know that song now because even though it's a great song. But people know about it because of the video.
I think that's fair. I mean, it's a really good song, but I mean, the video I think propelled it more to being something. I mean, that's got to be by far his most popular song, I would assume.
Yeah,
I
would assume so. Well, I don't know. In Your Eyes, probably more famous
from the Say Anything soundtrack.
From the Say Anything, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was on the same album as Sledgehammer, but it made it onto the Say Anything soundtrack.
Yeah, which is the album is so.
So, yeah.
Ellipses,
no punctuation, right? Just so.
But there's no, I thought there's like ellipses to it. Like, doesn't that have like ...
There's not, that I recall.
Okay.
Which, that's a decision. That's a
I
choice.
have that on vinyl, actually.
Me too. It's not a competition.
Who doesn't?
But whatever. Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, no, Peter Gabriel has a ton of hit songs, but I just, I don't know. I feel like, you say Peter Gabriel to me, the first thing I'm thinking of probably is Sledgehammer,
Yeah.
Or I like Salisbury Hill quite a bit. But anyway.
Yeah.
And then kind of in the latter category from that same summer, and it's a really good song, but it was just like I was really sick of it, I think, at the time, was Steve Winwood's Higher Love.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just, like, that's enough with that one. Like, I don't know. But I say that like I love Steve Winwood, But I don't know. And then but I like that one now. And then kind of from the 90s, and I don't know why I was thinking about this song. It's because of a crossword puzzle again. Because this was a good, I didn't know this crossword puzzle clue. So, there's the Seal song, Kiss from a Rose.
Yeah.
That was on the Batman. Was that Batman Forever? I don't know which I don't know. I've never watched it.
Batman Forever. Yeah.
Okay. The only Batman movie I watched back in the day was the original. So
that's the only one that's
right.
You should be watching.
And that Kiss from a Rose video, I feel got played maybe even more than the two I just mentioned, back in the 80s. It just felt like and as soon as I would hear the little intro, that da 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 da, I was like, I'm out of here. Like it's too much. But it's a shame. And I think part of it, like A, it was overplayed. B, I was like, this movie looks stupid even just from the clips in the video. And I think I kind of had a negative opinion. But I mean, if you go back and listen to it now, that's a really, really good song, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, but so the crossword puzzle clue was this instrument. I forgot the exact wording, but like this instrument was featured in a solo, or was soloed in A Kiss from a Rose. And the thing is, I'm sitting there and I'm like playing the song in my head, and I'm like, I've no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
what was it?
It was an oboe. Sure enough, if you go back and listen to it, there's oboe is actually featured quite prominently in the song, but
it has a solo.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, oboe solo. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah. That's so interesting because I can't place that at all. Like,
right.
So what does that say about that solo? Is that nobody?
I just feel like Seal's voice is the
yeah, is the real instrument there.
Yes.
But the fact that that I can't even recall that.
Dude, let me tell you, I listened to the song yesterday and I already can't recall that today. So
it's funny because who's going to know that? Like, it's just that part of the song is just slipped into like some sort of black hole of.
Well, I mean, it's funny because for me, when I saw that, I was like, oh, maybe it's an oboe because it's 4 letters and I can't, how many other musical instruments can you think of? A lute? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get a couple crossers and you're like, oh yeah, it's got to be oboe. So.
Did you just come up with lute off the top of your head as a 4-letter instrument?
Yeah. Oh, so anyway, but I was bringing that up because, like, do you have any examples of, like, what were some songs, like, I mean, did you ever have cable when you were?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so do you have any songs where you're like, oh my God, get this out of here, or songs where you were like, oh, I got to run into the room and see that?
I'm sure I have plenty, and I'm gonna have to rack my brain for a minute about it. But let me put that in the back of my mind to think about something that, I mean, because just mentioning, hey, if Smashing Pumpkins today is on, like, I'm gonna skip it. I'm the same way with.
I hate that video, and I'm saying I've warmed up to the song. The video still sucks. Well, while you're thinking about that, I'll just say for everybody, it's like a public service announcement, which I don't do that very often. And this is going to sound like a sponsorship thing, and I swear to God it's not. I wish it was. But this has been a long time problem of mine. And this is something where I feel like almost everybody listening or watching right now is, this is going to be of interest to you. All right. I've been collecting video games forever. Right. And I don't really, maybe not as much anymore, but I also still buy a lot of music CDs. And one of my big problems with both of those things has been, like, you get CDs, CD games or CDs, they come in jewel cases, and the jewel cases are all messed up, right? And you're like, oh, I need to put this in a new case, right? But all the CD jewel cases that they sell now are like not, like, from back in the day, they were nice, like heavy duty, rigid plastic. And now it's like, I don't know if they're styrene or something, but they're like thin and they're all like super flexible. Like, I'm not going to take some expensive PlayStation game that just happens to be in a scratched up case and put it in this really crappy case just because it happens to look nice, right? Like, that's just wrong. Anyway, so I finally found, and I'll put a link down in the thing, some company, I even looked at the box before I came down here, but now it flew out of my head again, but what the brand is. But somebody is making these new jewel cases that are actually even heavier duty than the originals were. Like, I bought like 5 or 10, I forgot which. Cause like, well, let me see if these are actually, maybe these are just making a bunch of claims that are not true. Yeah. And I got these CD cases. Oh, cause they said in the description, like, oh, like other people's CD cases weigh this many grams and ours or this many. It was like twice as heavy, But so anyway, I got them, and they're like super heavy duty, like really. But I mean, they still look the same. The dimensions are the same. But I'm saying that's like nice, thick, stiff plastic. So I bought like 25 more just to have them. The only downside is that they come with these trays. They come with black plastic trays, which that's fine, but they don't really look like the original. They're nice quality trays, but if you're really trying to say like, well, I want something that looks like original, black plastic or dark gray plastic CD trays, these aren't it. But really, in general, if you still have those trays, I never have a problem with those breaking. But they don't come with clear trays. So if you're buying them for like, video games, PlayStation, then you got to find still some clear plastic trays. But I'm saying these are really impressive CD cases. So that's why I stocked up. I bought 35 just so that I hate it when I have CDs and the case is screwed up. I hate that. Yeah.
And luckily, even though they don't come with clear trays, at least you can transplant those from your existing case. And usually that's the part that's like least messed up anyways.
Yeah, and I can confirm that old CD trays fit perfect, like the little snap-in thingies line up.
How much do they cost?
Oh, I don't remember. But I mean, it was nothing like, oh wow, these are way more expensive. Nothing like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe like I think when I bought the 25 pack, I think it might have ended up being like $1 a case.
Okay, so that's not even bad at all.
That's not that different from if you buy the crappy ones, really.
Yeah. And unfortunately, since I don't really use like a lot of, I don't keep my CDs in the cases because I just don't have place for them. So I take them out of the cases. Like if I was to buy something at Goodwill doesn't really have that many CDs anymore.
Yeah.
But I bought a lot. Then I would always buy like double albums, even if it's something that I didn't want for like $1 or whatever, because you can always repurpose those for PlayStation games if you needed to.
Yeah.
So I just have a whole bunch of them in the closet of just like music CDs. But the thing is, like, I've used most of them at this point.
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of like really crummy ones, like really crappy shape.
Yeah.
So I should get a set of those just to keep. And I guess this is like only tangentially related.
Right. Yeah.
But I started I'm running out of room for like my games back here.
Yeah.
And sometimes if it's like something I get on the PlayStation or and a PlayStation 5 version comes out, I started going on eBay and buying 2-disc PlayStation cases and then combining them into like one case just to like save on room.
Yeah.
Which is like maybe a lot of effort for what I'm doing, but
you can always get rid of some stuff to make room,
Yes.
Just a thought.
Yeah. I have a whole bin in my closet of things that are just like on the chopping block, and I like to give them. I like to give things away.
Yeah.
If I can, for like my cousins who just got a PlayStation 5, I had a stack of several PlayStation 4 and a couple PlayStation 5 games that I just didn't need, or I had like a duplicate version of it for one reason or another. For instance, like I had the Atari 50 collection, 50th anniversary celebration collection. And then I got the expanded edition that came with like the DLC on the disc. So I had that original one. I just I'm going to give that to them. And I gave them like a box full of games for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because they just got this system. So unless it's something that I know is like worth like a nice chunk of change and I have it another version of it.
Yeah.
Then I like to give stuff away when I can.
Yeah. Well, you're just a better person than I am. Hey, I said I was going to mention this too while we're talking about people that should be sponsoring the show but aren't.
Yes.
We were talking about saltine crackers last time, and I mentioned Sky Flakes to you.
That sounds like a video game title.
It sounds like that a lot more than it sounds like a brand of crackers, that's for sure. But anyway, so I went out and I bought, because I read about them online a little bit, and I'm like, and I found out like you can just buy Sky Flakes at Walmart.
I've never heard of Sky Flakes.
Which I only say that like you can buy them at Walmart because normally you only get Sky Flakes at like Asian food stores because it's like they're from the Philippines. But so I bought some Sky Flakes and I was going to send you some, and I still will if you can't find them. But it's just like they come in a big box and it's going to be expensive to send them to you, which I'm happy to do. But if you can just get them locally, then just do that.
Okay, Sky Flakes. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, but just to tell you what they are. So they're saltine crackers. Okay, but they come in this big plastic container that has handles. It looks like a picnic basket. It has handles, but when you open the container, it's a bunch of little like individually sealed packages. So you get like, and that's the thing I was going to say. This might solve your wife's problem as well. I think I would be interested to hear what she thinks of them. So you get this package. There's 3 crackers in this package. Each of the little things. There's 3 crackers, but each cracker is perforated so that you split it into 3 little pieces. So really, you get 9 crackers, and they're like, I don't know why you're laughing. And they're like the same dimensions as like a Keebler Club cracker once you snap them apart, right? But
okay.
They don't have the flavor of club crackers. They have the flavor of saltines, except they make them with coconut oil and palm oil. And those are like the oils that movie theaters use to make movie theater. That's why movie theater popcorn has like that different sort of more like, I don't know, rich is not the right word. Like movie theater popcorn is like a different, not flavor, but like mouthfeel is like this food science term. I don't like that, but whatever. But like that's how I make popcorn at home. I make it with coconut oil because it doesn't taste like coconut, but it just has like this different sort of consistency or something. Anyway, I mean, definitely the best variation of a saltine cracker I've ever had. And they take
so
fresh stacks to the extreme, you know, because you just get your own little personal size, you know.
And it's one serving size probably.
And there's like 30 of them in there in this box, you know. Really, really good. What?
I just thinking about like how it seems like so much effort.
What?
But I mean, if to like open these individual packs, and it's just like I just want to dump these things in my mouth.
It's not that
I don't
much
need
effort, I think. You know. I just think you should try them.
Okay. Sky Flakes.
Like I said, if you can't find them, I'm happy to send you some. But it's just like, you know, that's a lot of wasted effort if you can just go locally, and they're very popular. It's not like some weird niche item. But I don't know like how, you know, readily available like Asian stuff is where you are. You know.
I'm sure I can find a market
for
it, like maybe at Findlay Market or something. Let me ask you a question.
Please.
This is just something I thought about when I was just thinking, like racking my brain for like ideas.
That's the point we're at with this show now.
Well, I woke up today and my brain was like it just felt like it was functioning real slow.
Yeah.
I started to mention recently, I guess like on last episode, that like I have recently gone off taking my ADHD medicine to see how it goes, and it's been going pretty good. But today's the first day that I really felt like dragged down, and I've been off it for almost a month now.
Yeah.
And I just got to thinking, like, what? This is like the most old person topic ever, but like, do you take daily vitamins? And if so, like, what? Okay, so you just don't take anything?
No. Sorry.
I was hoping that you'd have some insight to like, what do you take every day?
Oh, well, no, I mean, there's just been a lot of like research that has suggested that taking vitamins, your body does not absorb all those vitamins the same way as they would if you just ate food. And that really, if you just eat like a fairly healthy, balanced diet, you really shouldn't need to have vitamins. And like, I don't ever feel like I need, I don't know. You know, I eat a lot of I eat meat, I eat vegetables, I eat dairy. I feel like I eat a variety of stuff. And so like, I think I get the nutrients that I need. You know, I think if somebody survives off of a lot of like processed food, like, you know, breakfast cereal or Pop-Tarts or fast food, you know, in the morning and for lunch, and then, you know, spaghetti for dinner, you know, maybe you should consider taking a vitamin, you know, or varying your diet, but that's not, you know, challenges, whatever. Like for some people, probably I'm saying taking a multivitamin might be like, you know, might not help, definitely doesn't hurt kind of thing. But,
that's exactly kind of where I'm at with it. Yeah. But I mean, I take like a vitamin D every day.
Yeah.
Especially like during this time of the year, like B complex. And I started taking, what is it called? The vinegar, what is it? Apple cider vinegar things.
Okay.
Which I don't really know.
Take a spoonful, or what do you mean? Or is it a pill?
I just found gummies recently they have it that don't taste like garbage.
I see.
Although, like, I don't even really know. I just saw them at the store. I'm like, I'm just gonna get these and see how this goes. And as I tell my wife, I was like, I want to explore the benefits.
Yeah.
Of taking apple cider vinegar. And what does that even mean? I don't even know what the benefits are. I don't know.
I haven't gotten one in a while, but Bragg's. I don't know if that's what you have there, but like here, Bragg's, like BRAGG''S, is like the most popular brand of apple cider vinegar. And you can just buy a bottle of apple cider vinegar, but they also make these apple cider vinegar drinks that come in like a Snapple bottle. And it just has a little bit of apple cider vinegar in it and then like other stuff to give it like, And I really enjoy those just because they're tasty.
Yeah.
But I mean, they do have sugar.
Yeah, I mean, that's good that they actually taste like something. That's what I like about these gummies. They don't taste like garbage. And like when I took fish oil, which is like, omega-3 or whatever.
Yeah.
I started like freezing the pills because if you don't freeze them after you take them, they like absorb. Every time you burp, you would like taste it.
Oh, but you're saying if you freeze it, that helps.
It doesn't happen.
Because my wife was supposed to take fish oil because it's supposed to, I guess, help if you have dry eyes.
Yeah.
But that was her thing, is like, oh, but then I have to taste it when I burp. So I'll tell her if I remember about the freezing thing.
Yeah, tell her to freeze it, and that takes care of it. At least as far as I'm concerned, it's taking care of it.
Yeah. Well, as long as you're already kind of taking us into old man territory, because I don't believe I mentioned this last time, but here's another PSA. Well, this one's not. There's no product involved with the PSA.
Okay.
And I think a lot of this, well, most of this really stems from the fact that I started playing golf. Like at our age, and I guess I don't want to speak for you, but I'll just say at my age then, I always feel like stiff. Like you get out of bed in the morning and you're just like stiff. Or just stuff like, let's say I'm backing my car out of the driveway in the morning, right? And I like
turn around. Yeah.
Yeah. If I like turn my head too fast to see if anybody's coming, I'll like pull something in my neck,
Yeah.
And
you're laid up for a week.
Well, maybe not that bad, but yeah, it'll hurt for a few days. And so anyway, like, I've always kind of wanted to do yoga, but to me, like yoga is like, 80%, really good, stretching and, all this other stuff you should be doing. And it's like 20% BS.
Yeah.
The BS I'm talking about is I don't want to know about my chakras and, that's all just, I'm not into the spiritual aspects of yoga.
Yeah.
I'll just say that. But the physical benefits. And so like I found my wife has something that she pays for, some lady with like a PhD in physical therapy or something has a website. And I'm not saying go there, but I'm saying, people find something, right? This lady just has videos where you're basically doing yoga, but without any of that BS. It's just like you're doing all these different stretching and mobility exercises.
And it's not like getting you to think about, be mindful of where you're at and all this
exactly. None of that. And no, like,
it sounds heavenly.
Shalom, whatever. Like nothing, none of that stuff.
No, like namaste or whatever.
That's what I was thinking of. I was going to say assalamu alaikum, but I know that's wrong. But yes, namaste. It's none of that stuff. But it's like you're doing a lot of the same sort of just poses, but also just like, okay, move this way and do that. And I got to say, it's just like even like this one, the particular person that my wife subscribed to, that she gave me her login information. I mean, she even has one where it's like a 10-minute morning mobility routine where you just like, you get down on the floor for 10 minutes and you do these different stretches. She says it makes a huge difference. Like it just gets rid of all that stiffness, and I don't walk around. I don't feel old just doing. And I'm talking about I'm doing like the bare minimum at the moment. I would like to do more, but and a lot of that, like I said, I brought up the golf thing because golf, to have a proper golf swing takes a certain level of flexibility. Yeah. And I feel like I would go out, to the range or whatever, and it would take me forever to warm up. because I'm not doing any like real pre-stretching. I'm just swinging over and over and over again. So I just started doing, I kind of pay attention to like a lot of the stuff that she says as far as like doing this and doing that. If I notice that like, oh, this is going to help for me, help loosen up the kind of movement that I have to do to swing a golf club, then maybe I'll do a little bit extra of that. But a lot of it's just basic stuff. And like I brought up the neck thing because that was one of the things you do is you just move your neck. You just keep going back and forth and you go kind of as far as you can, but you do it gently. You go as far this way as you can, hold it for a minute, go back this way as far as you can, hold it for a minute. And just doing that type of stuff with various body parts makes like a really, really huge difference with not just constantly feeling like, oh, I just feel sort of tight and sore. And, like I have to lean over to tie my shoe and I'm like groaning, like I'm saying, my point is just like, if any of that applies to you because you're like around our age, like it doesn't have to be that way. Like you can be older and still be flexible. You just have to put some work into it. Whereas when you're young people are just flexible,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is this person? Like, is it, so if you, obviously it's an app or something like that, or a website you got to pay for.
It is, but I'm saying there's probably lots of other ones. And so that's why I'm saying I'm not trying to send people to this person because it's just that happens to be who my wife found that we like because she's not. Because, like a lot of it for me too, like because I tried going like on YouTube and just being like, okay, can I just find like yoga for guys? Because like I was telling my wife, and this is going to sound stupid.
Is that the DDP? Like that wrestler yoga? Like the
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But like.
Diamond Dallas Page yoga.
Okay, I don't know anything about that, but and this is getting off topic, but I just I have a personal hang up where, and I think part of it is because like almost all of my coworkers are women, and I just have like this deep seated fear. I don't know what other word to use that I'm going to come off as being like creepy.
Yeah,
and so I am always like very self conscious of how I interact. Which, I mean, apparently works because like, everybody at work loves me. But like, I'm saying, like, I consciously make an effort to, like, I am not going to say or do or anything. Or
be conscious of other people's feelings. Like,
really what I'm saying is I'm doing the bare minimum to just be, like, a positive member of society. Yes. But I'm saying, like, in my case, part of that just comes from, like, I don't know why I have this almost, like, paranoia. And I think a lot of it is, like, I've worked on campus for a long time, and I've worked for a lot of people that, like, when I was, college aged, I worked for guys who were like the age I am now or older, who were very clearly creepy with the college age girls. And so I've seen the example of what I want to not be.
Yeah.
But I think,
and it's not that hard. It's honestly, it's like,
it's really not that hard. And I find it's funny because to me, the older I get, the easier it is. Because now it's like, I'm old enough to be everybody else's dad at work.
Right.
And so I just sort of like, I just sort of embrace that internally. And not like I'm trying to act like I'm anybody's dad, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but I'm saying like, I don't look at like, well, whatever. I don't want to talk about that, but you understand what I'm saying. But anyway, so, but I'm saying maybe it gets a little bit too much into sort of a paranoia thing because, like, I was trying to find, because originally I was like, just fine, I'll just do yoga and we can do the whole, whatever thing. Mm-hmm. And, there's like, I think one person on YouTube that I think is maybe like the most popular yoga YouTuber, right?
Yeah.
But it's like a young woman, probably in like her 20s or something. And I told my wife, I'm like, I just can't. Like, I know that it's just me at home with my iPad, just having her show me how to, but I said, I feel like a creep. I can't help it. Like I cannot, this cannot be the person I do yoga with on YouTube because, and I'm not even saying I'm watching it like I'm attracted. I'm just saying the fact that I just can't. Like it's not going to work, right? But so I'm like, well, isn't there like yoga for guys? There has to be, right? Because honestly, if you go look online, there's a lot of guys that feel the way I do, where it's like, wow, I really want to go do yoga. But, yoga is a very female-dominated thing. And, a lot of guys, they show up at a yoga studio. I'm like, I really just want to do yoga. But they feel like a creep because it's like all these girls. And a lot of the girls don't feel comfortable with it either. And so it's just, So anyway, I can already tell we're going to get a bunch of comments that I don't want to have to read. But, whatever. But then I go and I'm looking online at like, okay, well, on YouTube, I'm like, okay, yoga for guys, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like, like the first one was like some guy who's like 25 and he's like super cut and he's just doing yoga in nothing but like boxer briefs. And I'm just like, come on, man. Isn't there like somebody my age that I can...
Yeah. So, it's like good for him, like...
Yeah. No, yeah. No hate. I'm just saying, like, I'm not really comfortable with this one either. Maybe that's like latent homophobia. I don't know. It's just like, And so anyway, that's part of the whole reason I'm saying all this is that's part of the reason that I like, and my wife also, this woman that we watch, is she's just like, just an average woman, Like, I mean, she's in good shape, obviously. I mean, she's teaching you all this stuff, and she runs. But I'm saying, like, she's a mom, and she's like a little bit older. She's not trying to be like an Instagram influencer and get all done up. She just like, she's a physical therapist. And when I'm watching the videos, that's what that is. That's a physical therapist showing me how to do stuff. And I don't feel like uncomfortable at all.
Yeah. You're just getting in there, getting it done.
Yeah.
And then
so maybe my whole point in saying all that is like, I could tell you who I'm using, but it's like everybody has to find, even though it's like a one-sided thing because you're just watching YouTube, you have to find somebody you're like comfortable with.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that. So that's an interesting thing that I never really thought about, but it's absolutely true. Like part of my job is I have to film at these events.
Yeah.
Like part of my day job is I have to film at these events. And every year we have to film. I have to travel around and film at these high school sports like award things.
Yeah.
Right. So and it's like usually it's like the very end of the school year, and it's like it's a big dressed up thing.
Yeah.
And I absolutely feel like totally creepy, like having to film at these things because a lot of times it's.
Yeah.
These like high school seniors or just graduated high school people, like girls and boys, they're all dressed like, I feel like they're dressed at these things like they're like 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, it makes me feel like, even though I'm there, it's like my job, it makes me feel like a creep just like having to do it.
Well, it's like you have to feel way too self-conscious, right? Like, oh, do I look like I'm looking too much or whatever? And so it's just I had that happen like a few months ago. I was, not to keep talking about golf, I apologize, but I was at the driving range, and one of the local golf courses I go to their driving range is where the local high school team also they use their practice facilities, right? So I'm there. I get there. I'm just minding my own business, hitting balls, and like all of a sudden, the high school girls golf team shows up to practice, right? And like this girl takes the stall right in front of me, and so when you're golfing, you're facing in front of you, even though you're hitting the ball that way, right? And this chick sets up right in front of me, probably 16, 17 years old. But like you kind of said, like, that's not how girls dress when I was in high school. And I'm not, this is not about me policing. I don't care what they do, but I'm saying she's right in front of me. She's wearing these little tight short shorts and like her midriff is exposed, and the coach is right there. And I just took my stuff and stuck it in the golf bag and walked my ass to the other end of the driving range because I'm like, I cannot focus on, I'm trying to practice. And now I'm worried about, is somebody going to think I'm looking at her ass? Or I just like, I don't need this. I'm out of here, Yeah. Not out of here like I left. I just went, it was a long driving range. I went to the other end with the other middle-aged guys, and I was much happier down there because I could just focus on the task
what you're there to do. Yeah. And it's not even so much like you're doing that. You're concerned that other people are thinking that's what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah,
like what you're not doing.
Let me make that clear. I was not removing myself from temptation. It was more about like I'm standing with the club down and my head is like this way. Is someone going to be like, hey, I think he's looking at her butt, and like, oh, call the, So it's just like, no, I'm getting out of here for my own protection, not because I'm worried that I'm, lustily ogling at underage girls. Like I'm not lustily ogling anybody that age, but I want other people don't necessarily know that,
Right. And they're in many ways, like you're just afraid of what they might be thinking. And are those people, if they are thinking about, are they projecting themselves onto you?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I feel bad for the coach. There's no way I would ever coach like girls' high school sports. Like, nope.
Right.
Sorry. Get a female coach to do that. It's just like.
Yep.
And again, I'm just saying that comes from me from life experience of being around those kind of guys, right? I still have to work with, there's a guy I work with where like if we're standing at the bottom of the stairs and some student walks up the stairs, he just disengages from the conversation we're having and just like is making eye contact with her ass the whole time. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, literally like, you have a daughter older than that. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of people where they just like, they love the fact that they do that.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's just thirsty. Like he got divorced and I don't think he's struggling out there on the dating scene. So I think he's just, I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy, but I'm just saying like, he'd probably be doing it no matter what. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, I look forward to the comments we're going to get. I had someone left a comment a while back on one of my videos where, I don't know if you remember, I did a flashback video where I talked about working at Radio Shack and the manager was like 20 and his wife was like 15. And it was just sort of a creepy, even at the time.
How's that even possible?
Because they moved to California from like, some state where that's okay. I won't editorialize it. I'll just say.
You wonder if they're still together.
Who knows? I don't know. It's none of my business. And I made some joke about it, but I mean, but whatever. But someone left a comment on there about how like, that guy, you had the opportunity to have a positive male role model in your life after your dad passed away, but instead you dismissed the guy, because of, the age of his wife, and you should have been, like he was basically defending the fact that this guy married, So, hey, if you're one of those people and you're thinking about leaving that comment on this video, just don't. It's not going to, you're just going to get banned. Like, I don't need that. Anyway, was there anything else you want to talk about as far as?
Well, so we had my wife wanted to start this like a game night where we invited
like board games or
tabletop, card games.
Okay, well, tabletop, and we'll just say non-video games.
Well, I mean,
all right.
There were some video games in the form of like the Jackbox games.
That is the worst possible name.
I know.
Like I remember when I was hanging out in somebody's Discord and they would play that game. Hey, you want to play? And I'm like, I don't. That sounds like you have a separate computer where you store all your adult material. When your wife leaves, you run upstairs and get the baby oil.
I never made that connection.
And that's
I never
your
made that
Jackbox.
connection.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
So anyways, what the Jackbox is made up of is like a bunch of like other games.
It's like Spank Bank. Like, I'm putting that in my Spank Bank. It's the same thing, the Jackbox.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there's this one that we really got into here called Fibbage, which is very funny. It's very fun.
Is it like related to cribbage? Or is that a coincidence?
It's just a coincidence.
Okay.
So you play it on a TV, right? But you go to a website on your phone and you put in a 4 like alphanumeric code.
Yeah.
And then your name appears like on the screen. So everybody plays and puts their answers in like on their phone, but everybody can see on the TV like what is happening.
Yeah.
So Fibbage is this one where it gives you like a question and it has like a blank in the question. And it's like usually like things that like most people wouldn't know.
Can you give like an example?
I don't know. It's just like this like obscure sport was like played in so and so country. I don't know. Like that's something I just like.
Okay, well, that's fine.
So things that most people wouldn't know. So what you do is, everyone's supposed to put in a word or a series of words.
Yeah.
That sound like the most convincing lie, the most convincing wrong answer.
This sounds like right up my alley. I'm a very good liar.
So, and it's just like sometimes you can put in like real like things, or just you're just trying to, you're just trying to put in stuff that sounds like the most real wrong answer.
But so the point at no point are you trying to have the right answer. You're trying to have the answer that other people think is the right answer because you make it so convincing.
Yes, okay. But also like if you're playing with like 8 people, like I think you can play up to 8 people at one time.
I don't even know 8 people.
Well, that's the great thing is like you could play it on a live stream if you wanted to. You just put the code up there and everybody could play.
Maybe you should do that.
Maybe I should. But what happens is, so after you put in your fake answer, then it gives you everybody's answers, and you got to pick which one you think is the right answer. And there is a correct answer in there.
Oh, like the system will put in the correct answer.
Yes, okay. But then everybody else's answers appear on there, and people vote on it, and then you get points the more people you fool. And then you get more points if you actually like selected the right answer too. So it's really fun.
That sounds like a really fun game. I think I would enjoy that.
And you can get it like on PS4 or like Switch or even PC or whatever, or probably, yeah. And it's like Fibbage specifically is like less than $5. And even if you and your wife played it, it's just fun like that. But we had so much fun with playing it with the kids because sometimes there's like occasionally like sort of spicy things in there, but there's also like an adult version if you wanted to get something that's like like the naughty version or whatever.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend Fibbage. It was a big hit, and then we played it at this game night, and everybody's like, "Oh, I love this." But that just got me thinking about like, do you have like a lot of? I mean, now that you've already said I don't have 8 friends. I mean, do you and your wife like hang out with like? Do you have any like adult friends that you like have over?
I mean, not too. I mean, we went and had dinner with like there's a professor in my department that my wife and I are friends with. We went out to dinner with him last night. But
okay,
but that's pretty rare, and we almost never have people come over. We don't have much of a social life. Like I feel like I get most of my socializing done at work. Like the people I work with, I'm very friendly with. We go eat together and we hang out and shoot the breeze. And I think for me, just because, I don't know. It's like people say you're an introvert or an extrovert, but I just feel like there's different types of introverts and extroverts. Because my wife and I are both introverts, but like my wife is still very chatty. Like she comes home and like just wants to chit chat a lot, which I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that's how she is. I'm not, So I'm just not someone that really like. I go and I talk to people at work and I kind of get that done. By the time I get home, I'm like, yep, that was enough socializing for today.
Your battery is spent.
Yes,
at that point. That's that's kind of how I am, but sometimes I feel more excited about like being an extrovert. Like it changes from day to day, I guess. Some days I don't feel like doing anything, and then other days I'm like, oh man, I really need like to hang out with some people or just like do something.
Well, that's to be fair though, you work from home, so it's
yes.
Like I get daily social interaction.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Like last night, I wasn't really looking forward to going out to dinner. I had a very good time, but a lot of times for me, it's like I don't want to do that, and then once I'm doing it, then I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part of our problem is we've never really met another couple where we all just gel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe like I'm friends with the guy and my wife doesn't like the wife, or I mean, they moved away, but we had a couple that lived in our neighborhood that we met where they were really nice people, and they were our age, like us. They didn't have kids, which is another for us a big barrier, because most people that have kids don't have time to hang out with our dink asses. But we would get together and it's like we just have nothing to talk about, because we just didn't really have a lot of common interests, But then like me and the husband are in like similar lines of work. And so then we would end up talking shop, and I'm like, that's
not what you want to do when you're.
I don't even like talking shop at work. Like I definitely don't want to talk about it on my downtime. So I guess I'm saying all that because I'm not trying to say that like I'm anti having friends. Right. I think
you just don't know anybody in real life or like in your day-to-day life that you could talk to like me. They hang out with.
Yeah, I mean, probably not. I mean, I'm not saying I do have friends, but yeah, I don't know. I definitely think I talk to you more and talk to you more about personal stuff probably than any of my current local friends, aside from my wife, of course.
Yeah, and it's similar because we had these people over, right? And like they're all parents of the other kids in my kids' classes.
See, that's part of my problem.
Yeah, and that's really what it comes down to. But it's just really funny because I mean, there's one guy that I want to have him on this podcast sometime.
Oh,
I mean, he works at the college. He's teaches like film.
Works at the college, what?
At NKU, Northern Kentucky University.
Okay. Is that near you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's
okay.
10 minutes away from me.
Got it.
But like him and I, like we talk about a lot of stuff. Like we have a lot of the same interests and everything. We like to the point where like I want to like hang out with him, like not even like bring the kids over or anything like that. Like there's a few, like during the summer, like him and I went to see the new Alien movie. I'm like, hey, do you want to go see this movie? Because nobody else is gonna want to go with me. And like we did that with like Mad Max also. Like on Father's Day, like we're like, oh, let's go see that new Mad Max movie.
Yeah.
Without any kids or anything like that. But I mean, there's also other parents that like the only thing that I really have in common with is that our kids are friends, and like we can BS about stuff, but it was just like real weird because I think like everyone was here, and then I was like giving something to like the one guy I was just talking about, and then another friend was down here, and I wonder if he's just like thinking like, oh my God, look at all this crap.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But what do you care?
It's just, I mean, I'm sure nobody's gonna like, not gonna judge me based on that, but
yeah,
I don't know. I just think it's funny to think about it in that context.
Yeah.
But the game night was a success. It was fun. I hooked up the Xbox so that the kids could like sing karaoke. Like there's this game called Let's Sing, which is like the singing version of Let's Dance.
Yeah.
I probably should have gotten out Rock Band, even if it's just like the vocals on Rock Band.
Oh, can you do that? Can you just say I just want to sing on Rock Band?
Yeah.
You don't have to do
everything. You can do two people too, I think, singing.
Oh, all right. That's cool.
Which I should probably do more.
I don't think I ever had access to Rock Band. I don't know. I was in a Guitar Hero like when that came out, but I remember when Rock Band came out, but I never got it, or I don't know.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's just they had new songs in it for years and years and years, like over 10 years. They just stopped releasing new songs, I want to say, like over the summer. Like
that's impressive.
They ended it.
Yeah. Hey,
that's my list.
Oh, all right. Well, I still got a couple things here. I was thinking about you the other day because of this, so I'm just going to preface this by saying I did not do this because you're going to get really excited, and then I don't want to drop the bomb at the end. Oh yeah, but I didn't do it.
Okay.
So I know I've gone on the record before on the show as being very anti, like installing apps on my phone in order to save money at businesses, right? Like I'm not putting the goddamn McDonald's app on my phone. Like, forget it.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
But there's a grocery store chain local to me that does that. And like, I don't know. I guess that's to me that's different because it's groceries, right? And it's like, if you can save money on, like, I don't need to go to McDonald's, and I don't, but I need groceries, right? And so when you go into the store and it's like, this is $5 and it's on sale for $4.50, but if you have the
like
app
a box of saltines
and you clip the coupon, now it's $2.50. Well, I'm not going to cut off my nose to spite my face. So,
I do the same thing.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm at the store and I'm in the checkout line, and I guess it's important. I was there buying lunch supplies, right? Meaning like sandwich rolls and deli meat, so that I can pack lunch for my wife and I. Yeah. And I went and looked on the chips aisle for, do they have any multi-packs of the little bags of chips that, were a good deal or I was interested in. I didn't see anything I wanted, so I was like, screw it. Like, I can buy chips at work. It's not a big deal. But anyway, so I'm in the checkout line, and right there, in sort of the impulse item section, they'd put up this display of Lay's products, right? Like Lay's potato chips, and they had some Sun chips, which are also a Lay's product. And it had one of those signs, and it's like, oh, these are on sale for this price, but if you go into the app and clip the digital coupon, they were like $2.37 a bag for like not just the regular full-size bag. But I mean, these days, $2.37 for a bag of chips is a good deal, right? Mm-hmm. And so I grabbed a bag of Sun chips or whatever. But, and this is the part that made me think of you, right? Is on that display, they had wavy Lays, which I love wavy Lays. And the bags of wavy Lays had a sticker on them because they had a promo they were running, Lays did, that if you bought 2 bags of wavy Lays, you got a free container of dip. And I was thinking, damn, if you clip the digital coupon, you're walking out of that store. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know what 237 times 2 is. All right, it's 472. For 472, you're walking out of there with 2 bags of chips and a tub of French onion dip. So I did not do that.
A tub?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I like the visual of calling it a tub instead of a little container. But the thing, if I had done that, I would have just had a stomach ache the rest of the weekend because, like, that's, as we discussed, I don't buy that kind of stuff, not because it's not delicious, but just because I can't control myself. Like, know your limitations, right? Yeah. But I thought of you because I was like, man, that's like the Coury special right there.
Well, what I started buying recently, and I feel as though they've kind of replaced, at least temporarily, like any kind of chip or anything like that. I just feel they're more satisfying, and I hadn't had them in years.
Had what?
Pretzel rods.
Oh, yeah, pretzel rods are good, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pretzel in any form. I'm a big pretzel guy, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked the kids, like, oh, do they have pretzel rods at school? And they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, not sticks. Rods.
Yeah, like rolled gold pretzel rods.
Yeah, that's probably the best.
And they had
or
no
Snyder's.
idea. And I remember it's like, oh, man, you could get a pretzel rod for 10 cents.
Wait, one? I've never seen them sold individually. I'm just confused.
No. When I was in high school.
Okay.
In the lunchroom, you could buy a pretzel rod for 10 cents.
Was it still a normal size, like half-inch diameter? Like it wasn't some big old...
No. It was just like your typical pretzel rod.
Well, that's cool they sold them individually. You could have a little add-on.
Well, they probably
item.
just buy a big bag of them, and then you sell them for 10 cents each. You're going to be making money.
Yeah. Maybe I should do that. I'll sell them at work.
Yeah, you should. You could put them in like a... Sometimes they come in a big container that has like a flip-top lid on it.
Yeah.
Feel like,
I should, because where my office is, I have this little mini shelf in the hallway right outside of my office, like up against the wall, and I haven't put anything on it. I was like, oh, I'll get some plants or something. But maybe I should do that. It should be like like people have the farm stands where it's all like honor based.
Yeah.
Like I should put out there, I'll put a bowl of candy. I'll put like a container like Slim Jims or something. And I'll see if I can find these pretzel rods, and then I'll just put a coffee can. It's like,
Yeah, well, a lot of times they come in, like I know the Utz.
Yeah. I say Utz, but I don't know.
I don't know how it is either. I say Utz also. But that comes
Delicious
in like a
products,
plastic, like a barrel, like a plastic like barrel type with a top that you pull off.
Yeah.
And it's resealable.
Yeah. I think they use the same barrel for their cheese balls.
Yes.
Which, you want to hear a real tragedy. You can hardly get Utz products out here on the West Coast. Because
really?
Utz are delicious. Like the one thing that you can get, well, there's like 2 things. You can go to Costco and they have like the bar mix, but I'm not really that into the bar mix. But you can go to like Walmart and you can get that gigantic barrel tub, but it's cheese balls. But to me, that's great. I love cheese balls. I'd rather have that than pretzel rods, if I'm being honest.
Do you not like the barrel mix because is there like one specific thing in it that?
Well, kind of. Yeah, I think it's like the little
those
sesame.
the brown chips.
No,
like the brown, like
you
chips?
mean the little rye toast? No, that's like the best thing. Like Gardetto's even like, there's the Gardetto's mix, and then Gardetto's got smart, and now you can just buy the rye toast by itself because that's the best
my least favorite part.
No, it's like
unless you're me.
There's like certain sort of Japanese kind of stuff that's in the bar mix, like the little sesame crackers, and they're good, but I don't think they mesh well with the other items. Okay, I only got one thing left. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Don't be disappointed. So last time on the show, I mentioned that my wife and I were going to go watch the double feature, Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
And
you didn't go.
Oh yeah, we just kind of pussed out. Like I don't know. It's just like we went from where we're gonna go, and then we're like, well, we'll go, but we'll show up because they don't. It was I think I mentioned this last time. It was a double feature, but they didn't charge you like they just charged you for one movie, right? It was still $11, even though 2 movies. And so then we're like, well, we'll just show up at like 7 because that'll be about intermission between Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. Because listen, I love Top Gun. I just didn't feel like I needed to see it again. Especially like it's just like a Sunday night or whenever. Maybe it was Saturday night. I forgot. But it's just 4.5 hours in a movie theater is just a little bit much, right? So we're like, we'll just go see Top Gun Maverick. But then I was like, I just don't want to drive all the way to Sacramento. And then I looked. We have like an art house theater. You know, like I don't know. Do I need to define for the folks at home an art house? Like it's a theater that shows like first run movies, but they're the kind of movies that maybe don't make it into like the big chain theaters anymore, right? Because they're not big blockbuster type whatever. So anyway, we have a local one called the Varsity, and I looked because I think it was Olga's suggestion. We'll see what the Varsity's playing, and they were playing that semi-new Bob Dylan biopic.
Oh yeah.
So we went and watched that instead.
Is it pretty good?
I enjoyed it. I mean, it's not cool. As someone who maybe knows a little bit more about, like some of the stuff, they take liberties, but I mean, and it's funny how people get upset about, like, I saw reviews like, well, there's some historical inaccuracies. It's like, well, what do you expect? They're trying to tell a story in 2 hours. Like, calm down. I thought it was good. It was funny for me. Like, I had no idea who pretty much anybody in the movie was. Like, I don't know that this Timothée Chalamet kid, never seen him in my life.
Okay, he's in the Dune movies.
Okay, but I haven't seen those. So, but I didn't know anything about the movies. But the only thing for me that was a pleasant surprise. The movie was good. I'm not saying anything wasn't pleasant, but I'm saying I was pleasantly surprised to see that Edward Norton plays Pete Seeger. I was like, hey, it's Edward Norton, because that's the only person in the movie I recognize. Yeah, and he was great.
What's funny is I don't know. Like I saw like a posting on Blue Sky or something like that about how Neil Young said, like, I saw it. It was pretty good. He was just talking about how he went to see the movie, and he's like, he was just like talking about like how he doesn't really know Bob Dylan except for one time he was on Bob Dylan was on Neil Young's tour bus, but Neil Young didn't know who he was, and he kicked him off. And he's like, but that's a story for another time. Where he says,
I'd like to hear that story another time then. But yeah, no, I mean, it was a cool movie. I'm not at all sorry. I'd see it again. Maybe not in the movie theater, but maybe when it comes out on home video or something. It was good. Mm-hmm. But I like Bob Dylan a lot. So,
right.
My wife's not quite so familiar, with his work, but based on seeing the movie, then she was more curious. So like, when we got home, I threw on a Bob Dylan album. So
yeah. Is it Don't Look Back? That's like the documentary, the Bob Dylan documentary that he made like years ago. Well,
there was more than one documentary, but I think the famous one.
I think it's Don't Look Back is the famous one.
No,
that's the one where it starts out. He has like the
famous one. I'm not trying to argue about that, but there's Martin Scorsese like directed a
yes.
Okay, that's not it. Don't Look Back, because I forgot that was No Direction Home. Because I remember thinking that was funny because like this movie's called The Complete Unknown. So it's like both movies just took a line from Rolling Stone. Someone else already took No Direction Home, so I guess we'll take A Complete Unknown.
Yeah. Well, they had to.
Yeah. But that was made for PBS. So not to be pimping PBS Passport again, but if you have PBS Passport, you can watch No Direction Home.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. I'll just say in closing that I'm very excited right now because immediately after I'm done we're done, recording this, I'm going to go pick up my son, and we're going to go golfing. So it just made me think about you, and it just made me think, I understand that, your son is barely turning 10, and so you guys haven't gotten to the point where you can start doing like adult activities yet. But, my son, he's 23 or 24, I forgot which. And so, it's nice having, it's like, the father-son relationship, but we're both adults and we can go do stuff like that. It's very exciting to me.
Yeah. And you didn't have to raise him.
That's the best part. Yeah. I didn't find out about him until last year.
I'm sure people are thinking like, wait a second. I think
at least one person
it's just like your coworker, right?
Yeah. At least one person's watching this thinking I'm not understanding the joke. Yes. This is a coworker of mine that somebody else made the joke. Oh, that guy's like your son because we're so similar. So we are not relationed. But we are playing golf today, and I'm very excited about it.
That should be fun.
Only 9 holes, though, I think, because we have to basically leave work, go play golf, and then go back to work, which, people are not meant to live like that.
Yeah. I played 9 holes of everybody's golf this morning on the PlayStation 4.
That's such a freaking good game.
I'm kind of annoyed that you can't turn off like all the other people playing, like, and they're like running from. I miss the more casual, slower pace of like previous Hot Shots golf games.
I don't know. I don't recall the game. I haven't played it in a couple of years. Maybe I'm just not remembering. I don't remember it feeling like hectic or anything. I mean, are you saying you have other people, you're like NPCs that you're playing with, or you just mean that there's like people on the?
I don't know if it's other people just like playing that are like playing that same level as you are, like they just show up.
But I thought I thought they disabled the online in everybody's golf. Aren't you playing the single player?
I feel like you can't play with these people. I think they just show them playing at the same time as you are.
Okay, but that's like if you go to a golf course, you understand there's other people there. You just don't have to interact with them. Like just live and
I only did the first. I just started it, but I mean, it just felt like a nice little.
I love that game. That's probably my all-time favorite golf game. Actually,
is that one specifically the PS4 one?
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
I played This was like 3 years ago. Like, I don't know. I'm not trying to get all dark or something, but I kind of went through this little period where I got kind of depressed, and I was just like, that was how I dealt with it. Was I just stayed home from work, and I just played round after round after round of everybody's golf.
Dang,
for like a while. But I mean, I just had to deal with what I was going through in my own way, and that got me through it. Yeah. And it was nice.
Yeah.
Hey, you should check out. Is it 2K? I guess 2K23 or 2K24. I forgot which. Is there?
Well, I know that 2K23. I have it free from PlayStation Plus.
Okay, that has to be it then, because that's how I have it. I got it free from PlayStation Plus.
Can we play with each other on that? You think?
Oh my God, I would. Can we? I would love to. I would love.
Yeah,
to.
I mean, if you have PlayStation Plus, then
I do.
Obviously, then we probably can. I bet we should look. Let's look into it.
Okay, that game. I like that. I don't like most modern golf games because they force you to use the analog sticks to swing. Which some people like that. I don't like that. I like.
No, I want to be able to use the bar, like the.
Well, this one doesn't use the bar, but it uses a 3-click. Like I like the way that does it. If you turn on the 3-click, I like that. Although it was funny, I don't even know how I found this, but there's like a PGA 2K23 subreddit, and some guy was in there. It was like a rage post against people who play the game online and use the 3-click. Because he just thinks it's like cheating. And it's like, you're going to do that? Why do you even bother playing the game? Like the guy was like way too emotionally invested. Like, what's your problem, bro? But that game is really cool because there's so many courses you can download. Like people make their own courses. And
it doesn't cost extra money?
No.
Wow.
And I didn't get to do it, but I was going to do because everybody's like, oh, you do a Christmas show? I'm like, I don't want to do a Christmas show. But there were like Christmas themed golf courses you could play.
Dude.
And I played a couple of them, and I was going to do a video, and I just didn't get around to it. But I still might make a video of that game because I just think that game's really fun. But yeah, I mean, it comes standard with tons of courses, but it's not like you have to download them. There's just sort of like you go into sort of this course browser, and it just shows you all these courses, and you can just be like, oh, I'll play that one. I guess it probably downloads the data while you're like as needed,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that game's really fun. I really like it a lot.
I will go and install it, and then we'll try to see if we can play.
And then last thing, since you brought it up, not me, but since we're talking about golf games, because I'm going to make a video about. Spoilers. This might be the next weekend rental. I don't know. I haven't done a weekend rental since like October, and I don't know. I feel like it's like a dick move if I come back.
Yeah, because you were like all into it, you're like, I'm getting back in. Didn't you do like a whole month?
Other stuff going on, man. It's not like I don't like, but it's just like I'm not an octopus,
I know. Neither am I.
Yeah. What? And I wasn't saying you were. Calm down. So I'm saying I think it's kind of part of me feels like it's not cool if I come back after 2 months and do a golf game, but at the same time, like this is my show, goddammit. So I didn't know about this. I don't even know how I was looking at, like, for some reason I found myself reading about Game Boy Color golf games. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And, everybody will agree the best golf game on the Game Boy Color is Mario Golf, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, and I'm not saying I don't like the Mario Golf games, because that would be sacrilegious, but, they have like the RPG element to them that I just want to play golf, man. Like I don't want to go talk to people. The same way if I go play golf, I'm not there to make friends. I'm there to hit a ball around, and I don't.
Right.
So anyway, and this is all stuff I didn't even know, but I guess maybe you know everything. So like, in Japan, they released, I think it was just called the mobile adapter for the Game Boy Color, where you could take your Game Boy Color and you plugged something into the link cable port, and then you could plug it into your cell phone. And then I guess your cell phone, I gotta dial a number. I don't know how that worked. And you could play games with online functionality.
That's really cool. I had no idea.
Okay, well, me either. So apparently, well, not apparently, factually, after Camelot made Mario Golf, they made a follow-up game called Mobile Golf. But it's all the same. It's Mario Golf Part 2, basically. It's all the same everything. It's just got no Mario. But it has way more features than Mario Golf. Yeah. But they were online features, and then, of course, the whole game's in Japanese. But some people, that are smarter than me, did like a ROM hack for it, completely translated the game into English, and then were able to make it so that the online... Because, when I say online features, like, if you wanted to level up your character, for some reason you had to be connected to the internet. Like, what the heck for? Yeah. I don't know. So they fixed all that, so they turned it into a game that does not need to be online ever, but is way more packed with features than even Mario Golf was, and has no RPG BS at all. And so, and I'm playing that, and I think that might be the best. It's not the best portable golf game, but it's one of the best portable golf games I've ever played. Best portable golf game has to be Hot Shots Golf for the Vita. But, that's apples and oranges. We're talking about Game Boy Color over here.
Yeah.
Really, 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 really good game.
Okay.
You should 5 realies? It was a lot of realies.
I should try it.
I'll send you, because I already hacked the ROM. I'll just send you the ROM that's already, and then you don't have to deal with all the SB, as my wife would say.
The SB.
Yeah. She means BS, but she doesn't do it anymore, but she used to just accidentally say SB instead of BS. So that turned into something my friends and I would say, The
SB.
Like instead of saying, "Oh, it's bullshit," or whatever, you just say, "Oh, that's SB, man."
That's the sound blaster.
True. I was always more of a Gravis ultrasound man, but that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's 2 hours, by the way.
That is 2 hours. What episode is this? 58?
58. I don't have anything for 58. I don't.
Me either. Although, if people have been watching this whole thing, they've been able to witness the entire playthrough of Mega Man 1, Mega Man 1, The Wily Wars, Mega Man for DOS, and almost all of Mega Man powered up for the PSP.
I don't know why I assumed that they would have gone in order.
No, I like the fact that it just like skips around. Like
maybe I'm not complaining. That was my expectation. No, this is totally fine. Yeah, and I guess I don't know if that bears explanation at all. It was just like because I said that before we started the show, I think. But now that I have the screen back here, it just seems bizarre for me to be on camera talking and have just a black screen. So I'm like, I spent some time thinking about what I was going to put on there, and then, you know, that comes courtesy of our friend Nintendo Complete, one of my favorite YouTubers, because he uploads non-tool assisted. They're not speed runs even. Yeah. They're just complete playthroughs with no commentary.
I love that, because I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is like a legit playthrough, because I saw them die like several times, especially in the first one.
Yeah, like if there's a game that you're having a hard time playing through, like just watch him do it and you pick up tips. But yeah. He's not.
And I'm sure this edited down a little bit to the point where it's like, oh, I'm going to fight this boss 15 times.
Could be, yeah.
But it's within reason.
I think that's going to be the title of this episode. Mayonnaise.
Okay.
Or I got no place else to go. But I think I'm going to stick with mayonnaise.
All right. That sounds good. All right. See you in 2 weeks, everybody. I'll let everybody know about how my trip to Legoland goes in the next episode.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
For my son's birthday.
Yeah.
All right.
Take
care, everybody.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.